You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Nashville After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Nashville After Show.
Woohoo! Hey everybody, happy Halloween! I am joined here by Carl Lagerfeld here. We love it. So we are missing Whitney and Jen tonight, which we miss you guys. I hope you're all having a great Halloween out there. So we're here doing Nashville, episode 4. We live in two different worlds.
That's right. That's right. It was a very good episode. I am Lauren Leonelli, a.k.a. Cara Lagerfeld, for this lovely Halloween. I have all of my costume accoutrement, fan, glasses, gloves. Don't be distracted, folks. If you don't know who Cara Lagerfeld is, Bing him, look him up, and you will see a very striking resemblance.
Yeah, I think I'm a little distracted over here.
Sorry.
But Bing is for doing, and we are here doing Nashville. So, and I'm just disco girl. She was coming with this, so I was gonna dress up in Nashville attire tonight, and then she showed me what she was going to be wearing, and I thought, okay, we gotta liven it up a little bit tonight.
Yeah, I derailed JJ a little and made her go for it, but you look fantastic and sparkly, and I love the wig. And
thanks. I was a little nervous about how I was gonna manage to get these headphones on over this, but it's all come together.
Carl made it easy to slick it back, dye it white, done and done, but bam.
Yeah, well, he always knows good fashion. So
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, so let's talk about the episode. It teased us from the beginning, which we knew. We both called it. It was way too good to be true that Deacon and Reyna would actually be in bed together to start things off tonight.
Oh my gosh, that started and we were like, oh, and as soon as JJ and I saw it, about 2 seconds into it, we're like, it's a dream.
We knew.
I'm taking these off because I feel like I can't see.
We hoped it wasn't, but we knew that they would not give that to us so soon. They are going to make us wait for that
But
for a long time.
Of course, they're dangling the carrot like they do so well, but it also really, again, it's like insight into Reyna's brain. Like, clearly this is what she wants. She will do and say anything different to Teddy, obviously, and even to Deacon. Like, every time it comes up, she tells him, like, we're through, we're done, you need to go. And this episode, the same thing. She's dreaming about sleeping with him, and then she's in her real life doing the exact opposite. So she's really torn, and you kind of had a problem with that this episode, didn't you?
I did. So we can go ahead and talk about that now if we want, as we talk about Reyna and Teddy. I was very disappointed in her this episode.
Okay, why? I was too, but I want to hear why.
I was very mad at her for her last scene after they played at Teddy's campaign rally. And Deacon was then apologizing to her for, the quarrel with Teddy. Yeah. And I felt like if anybody, she should have been apologizing to him for putting him in the position. And yes, she didn't ask, but she clearly knew it was being arranged behind her back. So she was well aware of what was going on. Yeah. And putting him in that situation, I think Lamar was out of line and Teddy jumped right on there. So I think Deacon was right for standing up for himself. I would have done the same thing. And I just think she should have been embarrassed that she put him in that situation and been a lot kinder than she was.
Completely agree. And I feel like Lamar and Teddy completely attacked him. He didn't really do anything but just kind of defend, like you said, himself while they were throwing the daggers there. And even Teddy threw out there, oh, are you drinking again or something? It's just like they were being really mean. And of course, they shot it in a way that it was like, in the frame of the camera, Teddy on one side, Deacon on one side, and right in the middle stands Reyna going, can we just get on with this? And exactly after they did the performance and had those weird stare downs all night between Teddy and Deacon and between Teddy and Peggy, who we have to talk about too. When they got back in that room, he and Reyna, she cried and told him to get out. It's like that was her opportunity to say what she was really feeling. She's having these dreams about him. And I mean, obviously, you know, that might not be good for the storyline to just go right into it, but that's those opportunities where you go, okay, just do it. Just tell him.
Yeah, and there's only so many times. I mean, clearly she's been doing this to him for years.
Yes.
So I don't know if she, you know, she really is unhappy in her marriage and that's not where she wants to be. It's like she just can't keep taking opportunities where she should be. It's like the one we saw when they were on the bridge together. All these times when she should just be taking the opportunities to like be nice and say kind things, and instead of shutting,
at least be nice. But she goes the exact opposite. And I think it's probably just because her feelings for him are so strong. It's like she either opens her mouth and says, I'm in love with you, let's run away together, or get the hell out of my face because I can't take it. And I think that's a very good point, JJ. She's probably been doing this to him for years. We're just getting to see their life from this point on, but there is a 20-year history of them, and I feel like this has probably been going on the entire time.
And I mean, he's got it coming from her from two angles. You know, she not only is she the one that is married and has kids, so he has to see that and is still, you know, in love with her and has to watch that all the time, but has still been professional enough to continue to work with her.
Exactly.
But he was also the one with career ambitions as well, which he alluded to, you know, not alluded to, he said again tonight, which we've heard before, that it's hard to be the one like in the shadows all the time, where so not only does she get all the glory and the fame and the, you know,
family,
but then she gets and he's constantly just sitting back there. And so I think that's what made me so mad about it tonight, was that, like he said, I'm only here for you. You know, he didn't show up for anyone else but Reyna that night. And so for her,
look what he got.
Yeah, for her to say that to him at the end, I was like, all right. She made me mad tonight.
And she could have, you're right, she could have said to him, you know what, I'm sorry about that. You know, I don't really get along with my dad. I don't agree with that. I've got to stand by my husband, but maybe this wasn't, you know, it shouldn't have gone down like that. She could have at least said that. She didn't have to say, like we were talking about, I'm in love with you and I'm having these feelings. She doesn't have to go that far, but she could have at least said, hey, that whatever, that shouldn't have happened. But I feel like she just can't have him around. Every time he comes back, her feelings as of recent are so strong that it's almost like she has to push him away with just being mean on purpose so that she can just get him out. Yeah. And that's why she fired him. I just don't think she can deal with her feelings for him. And it feels a little unfair because he's been dealing with it forever, loving her and watching her have the family and the success and still being, like you said, professional, and she kind of can't do it.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think it is because she does really love him so much that she can't.
And we even saw when Reyna and Teddy had the conversation about, they were at the country club and they were talking about setting up this concert that she was going to do, and that Peggy came in and we both went, oh my gosh, something's going on there, because there was an energy and a look that happened, and so that kind of was the carrot they dangled in front of us this episode until we found out more about that. And when Reyna and Teddy got back home and she said, what's going on with Peggy? She still totally has the hots for you. And he just blew it off. And he said, well, you know why I married you? Because you dazzle me. I was going to say excite, but he said, you dazzle me. And she could not return the sentiment at all.
No. Yeah, it was clear, written on her face.
I mean, she always does this. She goes, I love you. That's like her way to get out of it. Because she, you know what? I feel like she really does love him, so she knows she's not lying by saying that. But
she's not dazzled by him.
She's not dazzled by him, but you know who does dazzle her? Every time she's on stage and they look at each other.
He was dazzling her in bed at the beginning of the episode.
Deacon.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you can just tell exactly the look in the eye when he said she dazzled him. He was like apologetic, you know, because she feels like she wants to be able to say it to him, but she just knows that, she doesn't feel that in her heart, and she really can't, you know. Oh. But also with, you know, I think Teddy coming in and saying that, you know, he can't, when Reyna's on the bed afterwards too, and then when she says that, okay, she'll fire him, you know, another another scene where, okay, but yet you're working with a woman who you had a relationship with 15 years ago, and you didn't even tell your wife that she was working on the campaign with you, but yet you're going to come in and make it be like where she has to stop. You know, so two situations tonight that really just rubbed me the wrong way.
It was totally annoying because it felt like Reyna could have defended Teddy a little bit, but see, I think she feels like she can't do that because I think
Deacon a little bit.
I mean, Deacon.
Yeah,
sorry. I feel like she can't. She's afraid to do that because if she does, I think she'll feel like she's transparent. You know, when you have, well, actually, this is a weird comparison, but you know when you have a dream about somebody and you see them, then like I feel like this used to happen to me in high school. I'd have a dream about somebody, like some boy I liked or something, and they'd walk by me in the hallway and be like, oh my God, I could totally just tell I dreamed about him last night. Like I would think that you could tell, like it's like something about your vibe or something. And I feel like, and she did have a dream about him this episode, but beside that, I feel like Reyna feels like if she defends Teddy, she will become Deacon. Gosh, I always do this.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
If Reyna defends Deacon, she will become transparent to Teddy. Like, oh, why are you defending him, Reyna? And I feel like she doesn't want to have to even like open a door slightly to the idea of it. Yeah. So I think that she couldn't defend him sitting on the bed there. She just had to say, you know what, he's fired. And I mean, Teddy didn't really have to say anything. He walked in and said, I'm your husband. I can't deal with this anymore. She could have been like, and you are my husband. You don't support me, or he's a part of my tour. I mean, it would.
Or we were trying to help out your campaign that's failing. You know.
No, he said nothing, and she just like,
okay, I know, got fired.
And it's a good comparison too, because when they were in the kitchen, and she'd mentioned what we just talked about a couple minutes ago. Oh, I think she still has the hots for you. He was like, oh, pish posh. And she was like, well, anyway, just moved on to the next subject. It was like, that was easy.
Yeah, that totally was. Yeah, you think there'd be a little more questions like, it doesn't slip your mind to mention if somebody's working on your campaign that you had a relationship with. Yeah,
so
we're then tell your wife.
I mean, like we're assuming that's what it was because she said she had the hots for you, and he said that was 15 years ago. So there was some sort of. But wait a second, though. How long have Teddy and Reyna been married? Because I feel like it was it couldn't have been an affair that he had with her, because I don't think it would have blown over that easily. It was probably something right before he met her.
That's what I would. Okay. We don't know that, but I would think. I don't think it was when they were together.
Timeline-wise, it probably matches up about right, because I think their daughters the oldest daughter's probably like 13 or something, so that might be about right. But I don't know, but that Peggy girl.
Yeah, let's talk about her a little bit.
Peggy.
Well, first of all, interesting, casting to bring,
Kimberly Williams Paisley.
So a little Brad Paisley and a little country shout out.
Right before the CMAs. And also, you made
we have a new drinking game now on Nashville.
Why don't you tell them about it, JJ? Because it was your discovery that you pointed out.
Okay, so the new drinking game for anybody out there is anytime.
If you're over the age of 21.
Thank you. Or drink Kool-Aid, whatever. Every time they mention another ABC show within Nashville, because I believe tonight we had
Jimmy Kimmel,
GMA,
Good Morning America.
We had
Katie Couric.
I feel like there was another one.
SNL.
Well,
NBC. But they did mention SNL.
Yeah, there was another one, because there was like boom, 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 4 in a row, and then they came back, I think.
Yeah, there was
with Kimmel later on, too. Oh, CMAs.
Yeah. There was probably like 5 or 6. So if it's tequila that you legal drinkers were having, you are all out of it right now, hopefully paying attention to our show. But no, I think that it's very funny that they plug.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but tonight it just seemed, it was a little overkill. There was so many mentions that we found it humorous.
Well, and I think it's probably true too, if something like this were really going on, publicists and managers would be firing those facts out like right and left, like this person's talking about you, this person's talking about you. But it was very funny and a good drinking game nonetheless. So, but Peggy, okay, so we've got Kimberly Williams Paisley on there, and she walks in, and instantly we're like, there is something happening between her and Teddy. Nothing was even said, really.
She gave him the eye. We knew right away, but then also while they were playing, she gave him the eye, Teddy the eye, and nods to go back.
But that was later in the episode. But I'm saying right when she came in, both you and I were like, and I'm assuming you viewers at home feel the same way. Our ears perked up for sure. We were like, what's happening there? And that was just like, I mean, that's probably good acting on their part because it was just a vibe. There was nothing in the dialogue.
Yeah.
And then we find out later in the kitchen that they had this thing 15 years ago. And then it concludes with the concert, the looks at the concert. She gave him that look to like, let's go back over whatever. And I'm thinking, what, go make out or something? But when they met in the car at the end of the episode, I thought they were going to kiss or something, but they didn't. So what do you think they're trying to make us feel like they had an affair or they're having an affair, but maybe that's not what's going on?
Yeah, that's I think what I kind of guessed while we were in there. I thought, well, so then I took it to mean when she called him back that she has details or information, some secrets, that she needed to talk to him about and was trying to talk to him about it there. So then, I think she's freaking out a little bit that things are going to come out. So yeah, but I think you're right. I think they're trying to make us think it was just, again, we start thinking, oh, what, do they have a kid now? Was she pregnant?
That's what I'm thinking.
But I think it might be something else tied to kind of his shady business dealings and those things he was burning before. Like maybe somehow she's had something to do with helping in that.
Maybe back in the day, maybe, 15 years ago might have been too far back, but maybe they still kept in contact after whatever relationship they had enough to know that she knows some.
Yeah, because
she knows. And maybe because of their close relationship or past relationship, she knows something very secretive about him.
You're right, because if it was 15, so they're probably trying to say when they were around 25-ish then?
That would maybe, but then I'm saying maybe whatever he's trying to cover up was probably more like 10 years ago. But we're all just speculating.
Yeah.
But I think because she was so close with him, she must have known something about him from the beginning and then stayed close with him, and then maybe they tried to cover something up or something came about.
Yeah.
Who knows, but there's definitely something happening, and I feel like the easy answer is that, oh, they're having an affair, but I don't think that might not be what it is. I think they're trying to make you think that.
I think so too. I don't think that's my gut. I don't think that's what it is yet. Now, do I think that could happen in the future? Yes.
We could find out about something.
I think they could start to have, as they work on the campaign closer and as Teddy and Reyna drift apart more, I definitely think she could be one
to watch out for.
To get in there as his kind of ethics, might start to get questioned as the campaign goes along. So.
I love the introduction of her character, and this, her trying to sort of help the audience discover what's happening with Teddy. And I like that they're kind of tricking us right now into thinking what does she have to do with this? Is it sexual? Is it not?
Yeah.
I like that they're doing that.
I like it too, because before we just kind of had Lamar coming with his angle, and it's this one kind of we didn't see coming, so it was nice to have that little surprise tonight.
Loved it.
All right. Well, I'm sure you guys are around friends for Halloween. So if you can tell your friends to take a look at our podcast on iTunes, download them, tell friends about them, rate us, give us reviews, tell us things that you'd like to hear us talk about. If there's something in the show that you're like, hey, talk about this topic, or what do you think about this? We'd love to hear it, and gives us good ideas to keep you guys, entertained and interested
or any
as well.
questions. I mean, this show is so soap opera. There's so many layers. There might be a scene that we're talking about right now that you might have a total different thought about. No way, that's not what they're doing. This is what I think happened. Rate and comment and tell us, because we love to hear about it, and then we can shout you out, bring it up, discuss it, even just between us and whatever you're thinking, or you could call in too. I mean, we love hearing.
We'd love to have a caller.
I know.
Yeah.
Call.
And if you do want to call, it is 424-256-1729. All right, so let's go on and talk a bit about Juliette.
Juliette, oh man, she had a rough episode.
She did.
She did a good job with all of acting wise. I think Hayden really nailed it.
Yeah.
But Juliette's character had a rough episode dealing with the allegations of her stealing the nail polish in the store and it going viral on the internet. And at first she was like, oh, wow, looking on her computer, 4 million hits. That's great. Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
And then when she started, and I was like, is she, what the?
And pretty ballsy, slamming the door in the cop's face, telling him to get a real job, and just, really being arrogant. And,
like it was no big NBD, no big deal.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It ended up being a huge deal.
Yes, it did. And she learned quickly.
She got knocked off her high horse quite quickly because that girl likes to tell people what to do. And all of a sudden, she lost all her control and all her power. And she went in like a major downward spiral.
And so they brought in, a lawyer or a publicist to help?
It was her publicist. And what, are we both blanking on her name?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't actually get her name
We
written
both
down.
realized that we did not know what her name was, but anybody can call in or comment or tweet.
We'll look it up for next week.
We'll look it up.
Watch it again.
But yeah, it was her publicist that came in from like the East Coast, I want to say, or maybe LA or something. She was coming in from somewhere else. And she was basically, and I loved her.
Yeah, she was great.
She was so good. She was like so fit the part, in control, and kind of was just like, didn't take crap from Juliette. And that was like one of the first people that we see that's like, all right, fine. If Juliette gets a little bratty or a little diva-ish, she just kind of threw her hands in the air, would be like, okay, well, that's not going to work. So go ahead and do that, but you'll see what's going to happen.
Exactly. I love the way she did that too.
Loved that. But yeah, she kind of came in and was just like, look, this is damage control now. As of now, this is what we're going to do. You have to play the card of like, I'm sorry, and this is what happened, and be honest, but like, and she was like, okay, fine, I'll be honest. And you saw that look in her eye going, oh God, what's this interview going to be like? They wanted to set up an interview with GMA, and she said no at first. And then when she realized what started to happen, she was getting made fun of on all the late night shows. They were going to do a sketch on SNL about her. And then all of a sudden she goes, okay, shoot, we need to do GMA. And when that happened, Steph got cray. Real cray.
It did. Yeah, because right away she didn't listen to the publicist.
No.
And she lied first thing. So then Robin Roberts said, all right, who obviously knew she was lying, and she did what what they would do during that situation and put her on the spot and asked the tough question about her mom.
Yeah.
Then she stormed off the stage and ended the interview.
And it didn't look so good for her. And I thought it was funny, too, because that Robin would have, of course, or any interviewer would have, of course, went for the hard-hitting question after that. Like, okay, you're gonna say you forgot to pay for it. You put it in your purse and you forgot to pay for the nail polish. Okay, cool. So let's talk about your mom then. Yeah. And she really lost it. And then I thought it was funny when Juliette ripped off her microphone and was like, this interview's over. And I got up and left. Did you like that? I think I sound like her. This interview's over. That was good. I thought, I'm not going to try and sing like her, but I did kind of sound like her, okay? And she stormed off, and Robin Roberts just stared. Like the other side, I mean, whatever, this is a TV show, but both of us went, she wouldn't have done that. She would have been like, she would have kept trying to talk, or, oh, okay, so she's leaving the scene. You don't just leave the dead air like that. Come on, Robin. We know you're better than that. No, but it.
Hell to the gnaw.
Oh, hell to the gnaw, Robin. We know you're better than that. No, but that was that. She lost. Like, clearly we know that her mother is her button. Like, that's just, it's like a dead giveaway. Yeah. And it was interesting to see her just go like, screw this interview. And you know what I think, though? I think this is kind of showing her she's still green. Yeah. You know what I mean? Rayna and, what they were mentioning, other country singers like Reba McEntire, those people earned their spot.
Well, and this was one of the first times, too, that she got Glenn made that dig with her about like, Reyna and these other people, Martina McBride, they've earned it. And before she was always like, didn't want to hear that, or was always, and this time you could see it sinking in more. She got it. She's like, okay, yeah, maybe they've been through, maybe it's time for me to shut up and learn a little bit.
Have some respect for the people who paved the way for her. Those people she grew up listening to, and she refuses to give them credit until now. I think she finally went, okay, look, you know what? And it just shows her, like I said, it shows her that she's green, because being a country star or a celebrity or whatever, it's not just about whatever art it is, if you're a singer or an actor, it's about all the other stuff too, being in the public eye, and how you handle things, and how you interview, and how you look on the red carpet, and who you're dating, and all the stuff that you don't think matters. And she's learning that lesson the hard way.
Well, and I think it's nice too, because we are seeing, she's also learning, like at the end when she says, I don't have friends, I just have people that want to be seen with me. And so I think it's a good gut check for her this week. And I think that's why we warmed up a little bit to her this time, because she what was I just gonna say?
She has some. Well, I will say. Oh, go ahead.
And I knew what it was. I was when you said that she's green. I think it's also it is that she's had this horrible childhood, you know, and
she's covered up.
And tries to always act like she didn't need anybody, and like she said, that was her real reason for the stealing, you know, because then she feels in control and she can take care of herself.
Yeah, and her publicist kind of said that. She goes, "Be honest. Stop covering up where you come from, and you know, be honest about what you're doing here." And I feel like it's a hard thing to do, but that's when people start to relate to you and respect you when they see the real side of you. Anybody, you know, everyone has something, and if she were to have come out and said, "This is where I come from and it was a mistake," there would have been millions of people in this fictitious world that would have been like, "Oh my gosh, I can totally relate."
Probably news supporters, because she's not that snotty brat, you know, because she said, that, "Oh, it's because I'm rich," and you know, everybody wants to, you know, and no, that people don't want to hear that.
And as we saw after that happened, her manager tried to drop her, and she was getting her sponsors pulled from her tour.
Yep.
So remind me about my prediction about that, because that is leading my brain down.
She also got dumped on not being a CMA presenter.
That's right. That's right. Because she didn't like that dress. It looked poor.
Yeah.
Ugh. Oh, Juliette, when are you going to learn? And her mom is still living in the house. And
let's good.
Yeah, no, her mom's really, really trying to like kind of be the mom. And I can understand her hesitant. Juliette's hesitant because, you know, she's like, "Oh, all of a sudden you're just going to be my mom when it's convenient for you."
Because she's been through that before, where she lets her mom in and then her mom's disappointed her.
Totally. But that one moment where she's like, "Oh, you're stealing from me," which is very hypocritical of her to accuse her of stealing.
Yeah.
And she dumps out her bag, and there's nothing that she took from her except she sees the picture. Juliette finds the picture of her mom and her when they, like, Juliette was like a little girl that her mom clearly carries around with her everywhere, and she breaks down into hysterics. And that was the moment where you go, okay, she really just wants her mom so bad, and she is fighting against it so much because it's clearly this vulnerable side that she doesn't want to let anybody see.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot about what this episode was about. People just wanting her to be real and vulnerable, and she just can't do it. She just can't.
Just being afraid that if she does that, then she's not in control, and she loses control, and she's vulnerable, and then she leaves herself open to be hurt again. But if she doesn't do that, then she, I think, can control whether, you know, how deeply she gets hurt again.
Exactly. But clearly it's pushing people away. This facade that she's building. You know, being a celebrity is so, I'm sure, difficult because, I mean, I would know, because people want to know everything about you. And it's hard with all of, like, you know, the internet and the paparazzi and the media today to cover up anything. It's almost like you just have to, like, be as real as you can because people are going to find stuff out anyway. And I'm sure that's something that we'll see Teddy dealing with in this too. I mean, things are gonna be uncovered, and he needs to be as real as he can. And I think both of them are kind of dealing with that, like learning how to just fess up to mistakes, be real, let people embrace them for who they are. But they're both at a wall right now.
Yeah. And I get the feeling Teddy is not going to be. I think there's going to be a lot of dirty things coming out.
Politics are a little bit different than, you know.
Well, even the Peggy said that, "Oh, you make a great politician." Her little line she said.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So
she was all over that little dig.
Yes.
All right.
Anything else on Juliette?
I don't know. Wait, what else did we have on? Oh, you know what? We did kind of slightly have a little bit of an issue with, well, Scarlett. And she's difficult to understand. I don't know if any of you other viewers are feeling like that, but you and I were both like, we can't understand. Some of her lines we couldn't understand, but her relationship with Avery and then Gunnar, and we find out this episode that they booked that deal, the writing deal, and we start to see how Avery is getting very jealous, even more and more jealous, and how Scarlett, well, we don't really see jealousy yet, but when Gunnar meets the girl Haley that they're now working with, and they have that one night stand or whatever, it seems like it's going to turn into something. We see Scarlett seeing them leave the house together, and there's a little bit of like, in Scarlett's eye, for sure, even though she's so all about Avery. It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, the running over to Avery and hugging him when Gunnar tells the news.
Yeah, I mean, it's like weird. I have a little bit of a problem with her character, and she's probably supposed to be this way, and so she's probably doing her job as an actress, but it's not about that. But the character, I just feel like she's what I like to call the shivering lamb in the corner.
Totally agree.
Like, she is so, like, almost spineless that it's like, come on. Like, she's so all about Avery. And, I mean, I think she took a little power back in this episode when she looked at him and said, I really want to do this. I really want to be a writer, and I want you to support me like I support you. And he was just kind of like, I'm trying.
Yeah.
But she stood up for herself a little bit there, and still kind of a sheepish way.
Yeah.
But it was better than her, like, just drooling over him every 5 freaking seconds.
Totally agree. I felt the same as you when, the scene out by the truck, when he gets mad at the dinner because she mentions his music where he plays and sings with the meeting with the record label. And, he's mad that she brings that up because it makes him look like not as good because the club he sings at isn't as good as the Bluebird, But then to storm off like afterwards outside there, it's just like, I mean, come on. You
can't punish her for it.
Yeah, and suck it up, get home, like, be her, I don't know. But during that scene, she was so sheepish and just like, that we were both like yelling at the screen, like, come on, like
he's being a jerk. He's having a hard time dealing with it, and she's like, no, you can't walk home.
Yeah,
it's like, let him freaking walk home, and you go out and party with.
Celebrate
with Gunnar and the new girl, even that would have been weird, but whatever. I mean, she seems so young and so like all about her relationship, which is great. But I mean, gosh, she has this amazing career opportunity, and she's kind of like, we wonder if she's going to blow it because she's trying to make things work with Avery.
Right.
This episode, I feel like she's starting to see the light a little bit. But before that, I was like, this girl's, if she had a choice between Avery and her career, in no second, she'd be like, Avery, 100%.
Who then in turn would choose his career in a heartbeat.
Over her in a second. Which, I mean, you shouldn't have to choose in a right situation, but rightfully so, they should both be trying to really go for it. They're probably, how old are they? Like, they look like they're like 21.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but Gunnar has a nice little fling here with Haley.
I think you brought up a good point tonight about who you thought Gunnar reminded you of.
He reminds me of Chris Klein. Yep. I couldn't put my finger on it until tonight, and then I looked at him. I'm like, oh, Chris Klein.
Could totally play the younger brother and.
Totally. Maybe in an American Pie or something. American Pie, like part 12 or whatever the next one is. But yeah, no, they had a little one night stand, and they're kind of cute together. And then he put all the yogurt in the fridge the next day with her name on it, which is how they first met. And I was like, that's cute.
I liked it too.
I want somebody to put yogurt in my fridge with my name on it too.
I actually liked that too because I didn't want to see him pining over Scarlett. I didn't want to watch another, Deacon and Reyna kind of thing. I wanted, and so I liked it. Actually, they were really cute and fun, and I liked the girl. I did kind of like that she was just like, we have to work together. We can just call this at one time and have,
And he said like, she was like a dude.
I didn't know better. I think, if I didn't have evidence, I would think you were a dude, So it was just fun. It was a good little, another character.
She seems cool, and there's not going to be a reason for Scarlett to not like her. So that's going to be interesting to see how that relationship works out. But it is funny because it's, like we always compare them to Deacon and Reyna, and it's just the same thing. It's like except for he's maybe, I don't know, going to be more like Reyna, where he finds a relationship or something and she's left worrying about it. Because we know Avery's not going to be, come on, they're not going to last.
No.
They're planting the seed for that to like not work out because he's whatever. So anyway, I don't know, but I thought that was a nice little introduction to get to see Gunnar kind of not being all about her.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, let's see if there.
Is that did we cover everything on this Halloween All Hallows Eve?
I think we covered most of the. Yeah, I think so.
We're forgetting anything.
I know. I was just gonna see the notes. If we missed any big points.
I don't know. I don't think we did. I think we covered it all.
I think we got them too.
I think we did.
Well, then at this time, let's see if we have some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, okay, this is a paper that I don't want anymore. All right, Hayden is on the cover of Women's Health in the October issue, so that's obviously It's now November to almost. But she has, so there's an interview in there, and it's, if you want to obviously hear more about it, you can buy the magazine and read it. But a couple of points in it. When she was 16, she got a picture taken of her, and a tabloid, like, it was a picture of her, like, behind her badonkadonk, and it wrote, like, cellulite over it. And the girl, I mean, I don't remember this picture, but the girl has a banging body. Like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
But anyway, she said it made her feel, like, so mortified, and she tried to tell herself, like, that beauty is an opinion, not a fact. So that, like, made herself feel better. But the whole article is kind of about, you know, what she does, her fitness regime and her diet. And she says she doesn't really have a specific diet or, like, fitness thing that she likes to do to, like, tell the readers, the fans, but she loves Bikram yoga. She likes making healthy choices with one eating, but she feels like that beauty, like, not to sound cliche, but it comes from within. So if you can carry yourself with the light coming out of your eyes, that could be the most attractive things about you, is a quote from her. And I agree, and I like that she's just kind of very real about, like, you know what, you have to feel good about yourself in order to look good on the outside, and it's true. So again, women's health, if you want more on that article. And then Connie Britton was, she did a little, I think you would call it like a little article in USA Today, because Mitt Romney is quoting a famous quote from the coach on Friday Night Lights, which is the show she used to be on, which is clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. And he keeps saying it in all of his speeches. And she and one of the producers from Friday Night Lights, Sarah Aubrey, they kind of had like a little bit of a problem with it. And they're kind of talking smack. So clearly we know who they're voting for. But it's kind of relevant. You know, the election's right around the corner. And they sort of said, like, you know, Obama is really about, like, women's health care. And he's made this health care reform in the landmark Affordable Health Care Act that helps women out. And there were some characters in the show that they were kind of relating to, you know, if they could have benefited from this in real life. And they also kind of pointed out that Dillon, which is the town where Friday Night Lights took place, they said it's a town in Texas where it's a classic American town with hardworking middle-class citizens. And they think that Obama is more closely related to that idea and those values than Romney is, so that he shouldn't be throwing that quote around, because it doesn't represent who they think that Romney is and more who they think Obama is. So I thought that was kind of interesting. They went a little political on that one. And then a little quick ratings review here. Nashville continued to stand as the #1 drama over Chicago Fire, and they have 6.5 million viewers. And in addition to that, they beat out CBS's CSI, which is like their major show, for the third consecutive week to rank as #1 broadcast series for adults and women. This is great, right? And the show's great. And also Nashville holds 100% of its numbers from a week ago across the adult demos and across even beating out the World Series, and its growth in men, the demo with men, is growing. It's great. So it's kind of like reaching across the board here.
I've noticed a lot on Twitter, and a lot of guys commenting how much they love the show. I think ABC is doing a great job of marketing, as far as when you go to their website, like there's the music lounge, you can download the tunes from the episodes, which have been wonderful.
They're all
really
great.
Good original music. Yeah, I think they've done a great job of really weaving in all different marketing tools
aspects
for the show.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. I agree. Yeah.
Okay, I have 2 pieces of news as well. So Wyclef Jean, is that correctly? He is going to be joining the cast, and he will be playing the head of a music label.
Nice.
So he's one that we can look out for too. Yeah, I think that should be a great addition.
I guess he isn't gone till November. But sorry, I can't.
That's an amazing song, by the way.
It is. Thank you.
And also, the only other thing to note is that the CMA Awards are tomorrow night on ABC, I believe 8/7 Central.
Yes.
And there will be some of your favorite Nashville stars who will be presenting that night. So if you want another Nashville fix, tune in for that tomorrow night for lots of good music and to see some of your stars.
That's right.
So now it is time for predictions.
Ooh.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, oh my God, I am dying to get this prediction
Go for
out.
it.
Okay, so I think now with all this drama with Juliette and all of her sponsors being pulled and everyone's like, oh my gosh, she's a risk. We don't like her as much. Her popularity's dropping. I feel like what's going to happen is her record label is not going to want her to be the headliner of a tour. They're going to pull her off of that. So I feel like what's going to happen is Reyna is going to be asked to be the headliner, and then Juliette's going to have to come beg to be her opener. And I feel like Deacon, because they got to keep this attached somehow, is going to, in the process, before all that happens, he's going to, we see him going to Juliette's at the end of this episode. So she's going to get him on board because Reyna's already said, I'm done with you like 5 times.
Yep.
So Juliette, Deacon are going to be together. Reyna's going to be the headliner. They're going to have to come up and open for her. Ba-bam!
I thought that was a great one you had.
How's that for a prediction?
Yep. And I also think just to add onto that a little bit, I think we're also going to see another level with Deacon and Juliette. Now that her mom is in the house and with her substance abuse problems, I think there's going to be a bond with Deacon and Juliette, because since obviously he's gone through them. Oh, which we did find out tonight that Coleman was his sponsor.
That's
which
right.
We didn't know that
We
before.
didn't know that.
That was a new
Yes.
piece tonight. So
That's
going
good.
to that. But so anyway, I think there's also going to be a new connection for them on that level as well. In the next episodes.
I gotta
All
put
right.
these back on. Carl Lagerfeld. Carl's back.
Signing off.
Where can we find you?
Awesome. All right,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I got
fanning.
distracted by this again.
I can't help it.
All right, Carl, where can we find you?
Well, you can find Carl, I'm sure, all over the internet with his crazy quotes, but you can find Lauren Leonelli. Let me not confuse him. I'm taking my glasses off. Hi, Lauren Leonelli. You can find me at laurenleonelli.com, on Twitter at Lauren Leonelli, and Facebook and Instagram.
And you can find me at jjjurgens.com or at JJ Jurgens on Twitter and JJ Jurgens at Facebook.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for joining us this Halloween.
Happy
Go eat
Halloween.
some candy. Enjoy the rest of your night.
See you next
Thanks.
week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.